Welcome to the Flip and Castle podcast.
All right, so are you ready to go deep? Today, we're diving into the 2024 election.
Buckle up.
Yeah, seriously. But we're ditching the polls and the pundits and going straight to the source.
Love it.
We're talking real questions from everyday people.
My favorite kind.
And we're pulling them from a blog. It's called Freedom Report. Catchy, right?
Definitely piques your curiosity.
It does. And let me tell you, these questions, they don't hold back.
Okay.
So get ready, because we are about to hear what America really wants to know from their potential presidents.
Let's do it.
So first up, accountability.
Always a hot topic, right?
Right. And both candidates, Harris and Trump, are facing some tough questions about it.
Makes you wonder if that's a sign of the times, huh?
Maybe. For Trump, it's about how he handles criticism.
Which, let's be honest, there's been a lot of.
There has.
No.
And the question is, can he take it? And how does that affect his ability to lead?
That's the million-dollar question right there.
It really is.
See, good leaders, they need to be confident, sure, but also open to feedback, right?
Right. It's a delicate balance, for sure.
It is. And to see this question coming up on a blog, it suggests even some of Trump's own supporters, they're thinking about this too.
Interesting. Now, on the flip side, Kamala is facing a question about Jussie Smollett. You remember that whole saga?
How could we forget? Talk about a media frenzy.
Seriously. And the question is basically, what's her connection to all of it?
Which, whether she had any real involvement or not, it speaks volumes, you know.
How so?
Well, it highlights this intense scrutiny public figures are under. Every connection, every association, it's all fair game.
And in the age of social media, that scrutiny is amplified like 1,000 times over.
No kidding. One wrong move, real or perceived, and boom, it's everywhere.
Makes you wonder, can anyone really handle that kind of pressure?
Tough question. But let's move on, shall we? Because the next batch of questions, whole different vibe.
Oh.
These ones, they reek of suspicion. Like nobody's buying what's being sold, you know?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. It's like everyone's looking for the real story.
Bingo. And for both candidates, this all circles back to classified document.
Ah, yes. That old chestnut.
Right. So Trump, he gets asked if he felt, quote unquote, played during his first term.
Ooh, conspiracy theory alert.
Total conspiracy vibes. And for Kamala, it's about her reaction to the whole Biden classified document situation.
Interesting.
Plus, there's a little jab thrown in about Obama and his Pt.2.
So they're comparing how different administrations have handled these situations.
Exactly. And it just goes to show how much people distrust the government these days.
Like nobody believes anything at face value anymore. It's all about what's going on behind the scenes, right?
Right. And what I find fascinating is how they're using the past to judge the present. It's like they're searching for patterns, for consistency, even if those comparisons might not hold water.
It's like they're saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice.
I'm going to write a very pointed question on a political blog.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on, we have a question specifically for Trump, and it's about a second term.
If he gets one, that is.
Hypothetically speaking, of course. But the question asks, what would he do differently?
So even his supporters are like, hey, there's always room for improvement.
Which I gotta say is kind of refreshing, isn't it? To acknowledge that nobody's perfect, especially in politics.
It is, and it suggests that governing, it's a learning process, right? You make mistakes, you adapt, you hopefully do better next time.
It's about growth, and that's something we could use a lot more of these days, don't you think?
Amen to that. Now, last but not least, we have a question for Kamala, and it's a bit more personal.
Oh, do tell.
Someone wants to know about her alcohol consumption.
Whoa, okay. That came out of left field.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one of those questions that could be interpreted in a few different ways.
Like, is it genuine concern for her well-being? Or is it an attempt to discredit her?
Exactly. It really makes you think about the line between a politician's public and private life and whether that line even exists anymore.
That's the question, isn't it? Especially in this day and age. So, wow, we covered a lot today. From accountability and handling criticism to secret documents and personal choices. What's your big takeaway from all of this?
Honestly, what strikes me most is the level of distrust. These questions, they highlight a real sense of skepticism towards those in power and a hunger for something more authentic, more transparent. It'll be interesting to see if any of that actually emerges during the campaigns.
Right. Like, will any of these questions actually get addressed head on, or will we business as usual? And what does that say about the state of our democracy? Those are questions worth pondering, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Ones we should all be thinking about as we head into this election.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, we're out of time. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.